People always say turn out the outside noise, don't listen to it. Outside noise has gotten a lot harder to avoid because before it was just someone write into Voices from the Grandstand, the World Herald, and complain about something, and then bar talk like that. That'd be about it. Now there's people behind computers.
Oh God!
And so the things you can get yourself caught up in if you followed, and I'm sure I don't follow anything about the show, but I'm sure there were people for our show are probably like that's idiotic, stupid statements. These guys are idiots, and I'm like
all the time.
And I'm like I'm
Every
not.
day.
I mean, if you sit and read that stuff all the time, it's really hard. It's really hard of the stuff that can come up on those, because you start taking some things for fact, like, well, that's what everyone's thinking. No, it's just one guy from Dodge City that wrote in, that's maybe not really on top of what's going on.
It's hard to get away from that stuff. It really is. Now, the only thing is sometimes in this day and age, the noise is so loud and it's so pervasive. It's in a way it's easier to just ignore it because there's so much of it. I mean, I think there was a tipping point in my life where I was just like, oh my God. I mean, why would you worry about it?
I'll read some stuff that I never read when I was coaching. And here's the part that is hilarious. It's like 74% not true.
Well, that's the thing.
I read stuff and I go, that's not true.
Right.
I know the fact, and I know it's not true. It's not like, I don't think it's true. I know it's not true. And someone's making comments, and then there's someone chimes in behind it. That's right. That's what I knew
the same thing.
I heard that. That's what I was hearing.
Or you saw the same thing.
Like, I was there. This is false.
This is complete false, and no one can respond to it. You can't read. There's no response like that. But it's crazy how that stuff goes on. And I'm like 100%. When someone has an article and they want to talk about your overall record, that's facts. That's your overall record. That's just the reason for it doesn't matter. That's facts. Or there's some things that are just facts. The other ones that aren't, they're crazy.
I know.
And the stuff that can get going story wise, it can snowball out of control. So the hardest ones that my wife is brilliant at it. She does not. I always say, do not read anything. Even if things are going great, don't read anything.
No forums.
It's so bad. It's so hard on wives.
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
And it's hard on kids. It's hard on for coaches. It's hard on their kids. They take it. I went to Gigi, my youngest, took her lunch, and this was probably after the Wisconsin game or somewhere like that. And we played, and I'm just sitting down with Gigi at the table, and it's her and all of her girlfriends, and we're just talking like that. And couple young eighth graders walk up to me and he's like, what's it like being in the hot seat?
What?
Oh yeah. I'm like, well, we're working on it. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Eighth grader. Oh yeah. Up to you.
Came right up to me like that. What's it like being in the hot seat? I'm like, oh well, that's just part of the job,
Wow.
Having lunch with Gigi here right now.
Dang.
But that was kind of
man.
So that came from Dad, or something.
Yeah.
With
go
that.
Go tell that
But I kind of laughed about it.
Yeah.
Kind of joke it off.
That's rough out there.
Yeah, so it is a rough part. So any of these coaches, you feel for certain parts of them for that, but also everyone on that list is getting paid ridiculous money. So it's different.
Now it's different for assistants, though, right?
Assistants like that, again, like I said, there's a percentage of jobs you get paid very well, percentage you don't get paid very well, but there's always some sort of chatter out there about what you're doing, what's going on, different places. But if I went out in Wisconsin, it would be rare that I got noticed. When I went out in Baton Rouge, I don't think I was ever one time in the mall, in any place, ever got noticed. Yesterday, like I said, I thought twice of people, just random people stopped me, very kind people. Bill Busch, you're on the show. We love listening. Thank you. At Baton Rouge for 4 years, never once, any place I was at, did anybody ever identify who I was. Wisconsin never identified who I was.
Really?
Other places never. Utah never identified who I was. In Nebraska, you really can't stop. You whip into Utah, there'll be two people, talking to you.
Stocking cap, even with this stocking.
I wish I had. I'm going to bring it back. I'll tell you that.
Flatten that hair.
Flatten the hair because I have hair to flatten.
Hair form.
You do.
What do you call it?
Hair former. Hair former. Put it on immediately after I got out of the shower. You had to have completely wet head. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Tell you what, in July it gets it's a little warm.
Yeah.
Did you feather it too? You feathered?
Feathered it. Oh yeah, right in the middle. Feathered it right down the middle. Oh yeah. It didn't really
You don't
stay.
feather it anymore.
Don't feather anymore. No.
But
You
do you
could
even
try
do
it.
the hair former anymore?
Don't do the hair form anymore.
You should feather it again one day. Just
Yeah.
do it.
I should try to
One
see it
time.
like that.
Just
Just-
walk
It's
in.
not in vogue.
Just part it in the middle. You kind of you feathered it back. And,
Yeah, that's 80s, right?
Yeah, that was
Just come in-
80s.
Just
It
come
was-
in one day with your hair
Yeah.
feathered, but it's like, what the? He did it.
He
said
did it.
He actually did
Yeah,
it.
nobody really does that anymore.
No, it doesn't happen anymore. Yeah.
No.
That's all right.
But there's some people there that'll be interesting. Oklahoma's a bizarre one because when Riley left, it was they kind of double birded him. Don't need you, whatever. Get out of here. We got
They kind of
Venables. We
did
got our
double
guy.
bird.
They
it.
did. Oh, yeah.
Then he goes out there and he goes to the Pac-12 championship game. He has a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, the first year.
First year has a Heisman
Levin
Trophy
wins.
The
winner.
guy that was just
and the
at Oklahoma,
quarterback
by
they
the way.
took their quarterback. He's out there, and Oklahoma just looked poor. I mean, it was not a good scene.
No, I mean, how does Oklahoma finish 122nd in total defense? That's
with
that's
a defensive guy and head
Yeah.
coach.
Right,
But Venables
exactly.
has been great everywhere.
Yeah.
At Clemson, he was
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
as defensive
he
coordinator.
probably has a lot of
You know what he had at Clemson? What did he have?
dudes.
No, what position?
I don't want
line-
to say.
D-line.
I don't wanna say
It
it,
was
yeah.
Think about
bad
it, yeah,
dudes.
Ass
Christian,
equals
Unbelievable.
mass.
Christian
Yeah.
Wilkins,
Mass
Jalen
kicks
Farrell,
ass.
Oh,
they had
mass.
big dudes up front. That's what they didn't
Yeah, they
have.
did.
Christian
No, they
Wilkins,
didn't.
Yeah.
Cleveland Farrell.
Also,
Also,
it's like-
guys there.
When they can't block your front four, things get a lot better throughout your whole life. It's like, okay, now do you have to blitz? Don't need to. We can play coverage all day because those four guys can go. Once you don't
Nebraska
have that,
Sue, don't have to
Yeah.
blitz with Dominic and Sue there.
Yeah, it wasn't just Sue either. I mean,
Jerry Crick was
in
up
there.
there causing
Yeah.
problems.
you
Yeah,
had some
who was on
players.
the edge? I mean, they had guys on the edge.
Yeah.
too.
Barry Turner,
Yeah, the Barry Turner,
Pierre Allen.
Pierre Allen.
They didn't need to blitz. We're good. We got Sue. We got Crick. Fine.
The whole thing
We're
you
all
would do
good.
in that scheme, if I was in that scheme, and I'm sure Bo did that, would be just how do I get Sue one-on-one?
Yeah.
That not trying to get a free hitter.
Right.
That's why people always say about blitzing. There's only like one blitz that you're guaranteed you're going to be +1
Yeah.
like that, and that's so risky. We ran it. We did run it against Iowa, and it worked. We ran it twice, so a couple times it
Who was coming free?
did call. The edge came free on that, so we got a sack fumble, and Garrett picked it up off the edge. It was versus an empty set. But my point of it is like people always go like that. But the blitz, like everybody has a blitz. What do they think? Yeah, it's going to bring the edge guy. The nickel's going to come off, hit the quarterback right in the back of the head. So I always say, guess what? If we had a magic blitz, that every time we called it, that the edge where the guy came and he came free and sacked the quarterback, that'd be great. We'd run it every time. So that there's not magic blitzes.
Right.
All you do in some pressures or some form of scheme is you create one-on-ones. You create, hey, I got one-on-ones.
Okay.
I got one-on-ones. This is what you're going to have to be able to
So
win.
that's what you do with Sue.
Yeah. So if you had, in that case, on that particular one, like against Iowa, was they had 5 blockers and we brought 6. So we had a free hitter, and we knew we had a free hitter. So that part is that part of it is good.
What are you giving up in that situation?
Well, you have, if anything pops, you have no second level of the defense, and if they hit a screen pass, like a wide receiver screen pass, is like a death blow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, those type of things. You have that. So we had some different ways to handle that, but yeah. Generally, I love when someone's like, they're struggling on defense. People tell me right when I took over like that, just blitz them. Yeah, I don't think that's the answer, buddy. I don't think that's it. Just
Gotta
blitz them
blitz
every
more.
play. Yeah, just got to blitz more because
that's amateur hour.
because things can go down can go down really fast.
That's simple in the press box.
We should be
Why
blitzing.
should be blitzing?
Guys should be blitzing.
Those blitzes aren't getting home.
Yeah, not getting home. Yeah,
Keep some pressure over here.
Yeah, and I tell our team also, the offensive coordinator. Sometimes I'd post his picture in his salary. Like, okay, there's a coordinator, makes $1.8 million, doesn't run dumb plays. It's really smart. So we don't. So just so you know, here's what we're up against.
Right.
Here's what we're up against. We're up against some real stuff here.
Yeah.
That's well run. They got players, and the
man.
CEO of the unit we're going against has had great success, and they pay him a lot of money.
The other one is I think you've alluded to this when people say just simplify.
Yeah.
Just run a couple defenses. Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah,
Just do that.
That falls
no
down.
problem
That
here.
falls down to the classic.
Just do that.
The classic George Darlington, which is one of the best statements ever. I said the other day, I think to you, wasn't it? We talk about, well, can't we just do this? Can't we
Cover
just play?
3.
We'll just play just one thing. He goes, yeah, we can, but we'll lose. So you got to do some stuff.
Yeah, the old simplify thing.
And we did
Come on.
simplify a lot of things, so it wasn't a Rolodex of things. We did. People thought we did simplify
This year.
but you have to match up to what's going on.
Right.
You can't just be like, well, we do this. How about if they're in this? Yeah, that's not what we do. We do this. Well, you better have a plan for what's going on, because you can't keep telling your players on the sideline to play harder. You say, play harder, get off blocks. Well, that's true, but it's like, hey, do you have them in a situation where the kids know it's like, you know what, we got a pretty good plan here. I feel really confident about it, and this is hard. And you tell them, I'm always like, hey, when they do this, this is graduate level stuff. We're going to call this, and they're going to do this. It's hard. Does everybody understand it? Understand this is going to be hard to be able to execute and get this done. So they know going into it, what, hey, when this comes up, there are the kids are like, this is hard. We knew this.
You know, speaking of George Darlington, when I was in college, he would come up in above the press box. You mean that top one where the college kids would call the game, KRNU up there, and he'd watch the game up there, and I would talk to him a little bit. He always said that for a defense, one of the hardest things to cover was a jailbreak screen.
Oh, it's brutal.
He said it's impossible. So
like,
why is it so hard for defense?
Well, it gets them started, and they have a seam, especially versus pressure. So the ball comes out immediately, and the offensive line goes 1-2, and they take off down the field. The screen's coming in behind him with blockers, and here comes the outside receiver. So just think about this. The defense is all going this way, and the play now is going this way. Yeah. So that's why when you have in this, if they're in a screen team at all, like on those cases, we still felt pretty good about the screen when I said we were bringing 6, because if they only have 5 blockers, you really only have to rush 1 guy, and that we only rush 3 in essence. We were +1, but you don't have to rush all those guys. They can step to where they're at, and then we would punch them out, so that when the D lineman or the blitzer would attack and punch out, then we had second level defenders for the jailbreak screen. But it's brutal on the retrace. Everything about the tunnel screens are really, really hard to defend, and especially against. I mean, right away on pressure, you're just like going, "Oh, please."
No,
please do. That's why you try to disguise it so well. Or you show a look, and all of a sudden you get out of it, and they throw the tunnel screen into a drop 8 or something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, good. That happened. That'll happen to you. But oh man, you get into one of those. Usually what's going to happen is someone's school band's going to play after it. If you run a full blitz against a tunnel screen, somebody's school band's going to play. It's going to go really well for you or really well for them in a hurry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, jailbreak screen.
Yeah. So George is accurate on that.
He's always talking about that.